Hi all, welcome back. Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection, Scenario 4 still. Iron Eagle. This will be part 27. Okay, so yeah, I didn't come back last night. I was a bit deflated with part 26 going the way it went. I did upload the video, putting a warning in the header about the fact that I've pretty much got to redo it. Now, I haven't started that yet. But I figure this video there's quite a few things to talk about as well. A couple of mistakes that have been made, and yeah, a few comments for John that I'd like to go over. But a couple of things sinking in for me now as well. So good, yeah. I knew I had to be getting some things wrong when I'm scratching my head looking at these things and then wondering. There's two things you've seen me scratch my head about wondering, and yeah, I've been ending up not realising what they were. Okay, where do we start? Okay, yeah, what I think's first, just John's comments. Now I'm going back to part 22 here to pick up on something that he added. I think I spoke about the rest of his comments here. Now I made replies to these. One of these comments was regarding this problem I've been having with the AAA. Well, I was having two problems with that. Eventually, the first one sunk in for me, and that was the fact that all AAA, all the different types of AAA can fire at you. Like the mobile ones and the fire can, the mobile and the fire can, they can only fire once per turn at you. The concentration can fire multiple times at you. However, you can't get fired up by two different concentrations into one, and this is what had been thrown at first. But the other type, all the different types of AAA can still fire at you in the 1X. And this kind of comes clear as well regarding the problem, the issue I was having with the suppression and thinking it was doing nothing. And we'll come back to that because, well, I can briefly mention the fact that these numbers in parenthesis, these negative modifiers to us running our bomb run, which I thought it was just the biggest one you took from that. That's not the case. You look at each individual, the three different types of AAA, and you add they're all cumulative. All the numbers add up, and yeah, that was kind of huge to me. And where is the one I wanted to keep it open? One that, like I say, we'll kind of get to these, but just let me show you that. I mean, yeah, these guys that are playing the game probably know that, and it's that there AA modifiers, and see what's got in brackets here: barrage, radar, and mobile. So why I didn't think that all the modifiers would now. Again, where I've been getting caught out on, see the barrage, the concentrations. If there was more than one concentration, we would only add the strongest modifier of that. However, if there was a radar, like a fire can, we would add that modifier. And if there was a 2K22, we would add that modifier as well. And here, well, just while I'm talking about that then, John, although you would only pick the worst of the concentration modifiers, what if you happen to run into two 2K22s or two fire cans and 2K22s? I mean, I'd like to think you'd only pick one of the modifiers, but I'm just want to chuck that in there. Do you know what I'm meaning? That I know each one of them individually. Surely that's you would pick. In fact, I'm pretty sure I could find that if I looked up 14.41 in the rules, which I'm just trying to do quickly. No, it was the modifiers I'm looking for, isn't it? Hang on. 14.41. I know that is a different thing I'm looking for. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for the air to ground modifiers that apply. Hang on. Yeah, okay, I know what I want to look for. So, for the the concentrations, it's rule 14.42, which is air to ground modifier. An AA barrage also applies as a modifier listed in the AA table. I don't know why I'm going over this just now, because I'm going to talk about it shortly. It's just, well, it's in my mind, I suppose. Apply the modifier. When more than one AA barrage zone affects the bombing flight, apply the greatest AA barrage modifier. Right, let's jump across to mobile AA's air to ground modifiers. When more than one mobile AA affects the bombing flight during its bomb run, apply the single greatest mobile AA modifier. Okay. And then there's the fire can one, and I'm sure it says the same. Apply the single greatest. Right, okay, so you wouldn't have multiples of them that were applying multiple modifiers. But you could have a AA concentration modifier. Let's just say that was a light one, but let's just say you were at deck level there, and looking at that there. So we've got a light barrage at deck level, so we get a -2 for that. And let's just say we had a fire. Oh, it doesn't fire at deck. Okay, let's. Well, let's pick low altitude then. So you get a -1 for there if you had an AA barrage, and if you had a fire can, you get a -1 for there. And then if there was a 2K22, you get a -1 for there. So you'd end up with a -3. And you can see, obviously, if these were medium or heavy, or imagine having a heavy at deck and also having a 2K22 there, that'd be a -5 modifier to your actual bomb run. So that is kind of huge. And John kept on saying, and he was trying to tell me that this wasn't rubbish, this suppression we've got, but if you think about it, it helps. It takes that modifier. Well, I mean, I would have made a mistake, to be honest. I wouldn't have added both the -1 for the inherent AA and the -1 for that. I would have just added one and got that wrong, so maybe just as well. Okay, let's go on these comments then, rather than me, because I'm going to come back to that. Well, maybe I can skip by that quickly. Yeah, right, Grant. Okay, so yeah, this was added after he added his other comments in part 22, but I'm so glad he did, because this is a big blunder that I'm going to have to fix in a roundabout kind of way. Now, what was the blunder, you may ask? Well, I'll show you. Okay, it's when Zelenko, who's off the map, who's removed from the map now, and unfortunately shouldn't be. We'll find out what was wrong first. And I was scratching my head, and I wondered about this. Zelenko went for us. He only had one aircraft in his flight. One had already been shot down. He came and attacked us in air-to-air combat. So we both rolled on the manoeuvre table. He ended up getting no shots, and we ended up rolling because we had 3 aircraft. One of our aircraft, this is our F-15, one of our aircraft was crippled. So we rolled on the 3 column. We rolled 22 we rolled. And I got 5 shots. And I was like, because we're disordered, right? We're in a disordered state. And he attacked us, mind. We couldn't have initiated the air-to-air, but it still felt strange getting 5 shots for being in a disordered state. So, however, I couldn't find anything. I looked under disordered, and I looked for a couple of bits, but where I didn't look was right on this chart, and it says use the 1 column if flight is in a defensive wheel or disordered. So John picked this out. He said you missed the part above the manoeuvre table which says you use the 1 column if disordered, so only 2 shots were generated. And at first I thought I was getting away with this because we did roll 22 still. I kept my roll, obviously, but I should have been checking there. And like John says, I should have had 2 shots. Now, when we come down to do our shots, our first shot was a big roll, and we got 23, I think. 1 aircraft damaged. And then, remember, there's only 1 aircraft in the flight, so I didn't really want to fire all 5 shots. I just wanted a shot down result, and that would have been it. Well, I thought my second shot roll was a shot down. It was not. My second roll of the dice was a no effect. So, in actual fact, all that should have happened to Zelenko was the aircraft should have been damaged. It was my third shot, which I shouldn't be entitled to, that shot him down. So basically, what I think the best solution to this is to score out. Now I'm not sure if it was flight 2 or flight 3, but I'll just change flight 2 rather than go back and look at this because I don't really need to check that. What did I say? It was damage, wasn't it? That's a purple dice. So and everything else is morale. Oh, hang on. He would have checked morale, but I don't think that's a biggie. I'm not going to go back and check morale for him. So what should have happened was, I've just changed that now. Zelenko should still actually be on the map with one aircraft in its flight, and it should be damaged. But if we remember, if they've got all damaged aircraft in their flight, they're going to abort. So he's just heading off the map. So what I'm going to do is leave him off the map, right? I mean, it might have been more beneficial for me to have him on the map because I might have been able to still try and shoot him down in that state. But let's just not mess about. I made a mistake there. So we'll only get 1 point rather than the 2 points for shooting him down. Now the bailout, we did do a bailout check. The guy he did bail out safely. So that wouldn't have happened, but that was irrelevant anyway. So I think I'll just leave the flight off the map. I mean, I could try and put it back somewhere and then start manoeuvring it over to the east side of the map. But let's just say what I could do, if I remember, is, well, in fact, you know what I'll do? Where is he? Where's Zelenko? Because I suppose technically we should. Let's just say that we were flying him up that way, but let's just say he's gone. Right, he's up there. He's up there off the map. So what I done in the last 2 flights is I done the recovery roll because he's got a damaged aircraft now. Remember, he's unlikely to fail that. He needs he gets a -2 to the 2 dice roll, and he needs a 2 result. So unless he rolls terribly, then it would. But I suppose I should do that roll. Now again, yes, he wouldn't quite be off the map yet. He'd maybe have made a move somewhere. Well, I probably would have been flying him up this way, which is wrong. It should have been flying him that way. But it's not that he could do anything more. So I think that's a fair enough way of dealing with that. There you go. So I said, damn, I knew I was missing something here. I mean, 5 shot opportunities from a disordered flight just had to be wrong. So I said I'll make a fix of sorts in part 27. Well, that's about the best I can come up with. I mean, yeah, I could put him down here and try and manoeuvre him and whatever, but he's not going to be able to do anything more to us. We might have been able to have a shot and take him down, maybe, but we've still got Siskov in there anyway, and so we've still got that to deal with. So okay, I'll leave that fixed like that. Hopefully that's okay, but just need to be more careful. Yeah, I missed that one. There was a couple of comments in part 23. I just gave him a thumb for that. I didn't comment. He says target is nearest human flight. Cobra is not. Target is nearest detected human flight. Cobra is not detected. But he says I get that. I eventually realised that when Cobra was undetected. And the 28-minute mark, this is part 23, he says this is one of those cases where a Warsaw Pact player probably definitely wants BVR since F-16s are among the best dogfighters in the game. So there you go. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I suppose having a random dice roll like that, I think I want to say the dice roll just slightly favours air, doesn't it, with its numbers? I think the percentage is slightly better, but anyway. So not much from that, but 24 and 25, I think there's quite a lot to run through. Like I say, hopefully I'll put a comment in the header about this one as well, because I get the feeling by the time I'll also then get round to fix part 26, that'll be all the real gameplay that'll be involved, really, I think. There's not. Oops, right, okay. Sorry, I was just getting the comments up here. Okay, so this is from part 24. So yeah, I eventually realised it says, yeah, you've got Durandals, which are anti-runway bombs. Eventually, this kind of clicks with me. It says they are triple strength against runways. I get that. They are not CBUs. You seem to be looking at the ADC card when you're better off referencing the flight log for which ordnance the flight actually has. I mean, yeah, I was staring at the flight log though, John. That's the thing. It was a bit bizarre, to be honest. Well, I replied with, yeah, eventually get there. I think I was more that I had in my mind that the bombs I had were CBUs. I don't know, because I think eventually talk about a previous scenario where it was 2 or 3, where that's what we had. And I don't know, that must have been still sitting in my head, but I mean, like John says, it clearly tells you there, Durandals. The thing is, we see when I was looking up when you look up the actual different types of ordnance, it doesn't highlight it as a Durandal because it's not a Durandal. Well, that's the type of bomb, but it's a anti-runway bomb. So I think looking through that is where I was struggling to find it, and then eventually I found it hidden in there about the Durandal. I mean, the Durandal's the NATO side of it. The Soviet ones have a different name, don't they? Obviously, they don't have the same weapons. Right, okay. So then 26-minute mark, Durandals require a level bombing profile, which prohibits dive or climb during the attack. I've always taken this, as you did, from the start of the bomb run to the end of the movement phase, where the attack takes place. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so that was fine. However, he added on to this, he says also the third paragraph was 17.3. Well, he's actually referenced that wrong. It's 17.2 he's talking about. And he talks about the third paragraph of this. It talks about force movement or altitude changes cancelling the bomb run. And that's where I should have been looking for that, because I think I was talking about possibly changing my altitude. Well, it says during a bomb run, if a flight is marked with a BVR avoid or SAM avoid marker, or is forced to turn / change altitude for any reason, mind you, that says forced. Or is it forced to turn but not forced to change altitude? Yeah, I think that's how it's just maybe reading that in the way that I read things sometimes. I think it's forced to turn, or if it changes altitude for any reason. The bomber is cancelled. SAM avoidance or scatter. Well, scatter can change your altitude, can't it? Okay. Is that just for being forced into it though, John? Maybe? I could see that being read in that way. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll leave that. Yeah. But thanks for pointing me to that one. Or is forced to turn / change altitude for any reason. I don't know. I don't know the way I'm reading that. I don't know. Okay, I'll just leave it there. 30-minute and 5-second mark. Correct. The inherit SAM AA zone fire only happens once per movement phase. Yeah, okay, got that. Good. Okay, so here's the big other one that we were been getting wrong and been scratching my head and talking about the fact that I'd used that suppression and it was completely rubbish and a waste of time and whatever. But I've just went over it all just at the beginning of the video here. But I'll just read John's comment, which might clear it up. Well, it certainly got it to me anyway. He says, this is at the 38-minute mark. This is one reason suppressing the light AAA concentration was good. That AAA modifier for air-to-ground attacks is not just the single greatest, most negative modifier from all AAA. Each of AAA concentrations, radar AAA and mobile AAA, contribute the worst AAA ATG modifier within the category. So, Mike, I've just realised you get the worst of each of the 3. So for this attack, it's 0 due to the suppression that we done, thinking it was doing nothing, and a -1 due to the 2K22 inherent attack for a total of -1. That's what we gave it. But I tell you, if that wasn't suppressed, I would have still only been given it -1 wrongly, because I would have picked -1, -1. That's how I was seeing it, and it's not the case. He said, had you not suppressed the AA concentration, this mod would have been a -2 instead, or -5 net dice roll modifier. Since the light AA concentration would have also contributed as -1. Where's the -5 coming from, John? Oh, sorry, he's just adding up all the modifiers we had, isn't he? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a -5 net dice roll modifier. So it must have been, we must have had -3 already. So that would have been a -5, whereas we took a -4. But you can see it as beneficial, isn't it? And not only that, well, actually, I think that comes further up as well. So I said, okay, so I knew there had to be something within this I was missing. I have it now, thanks for getting it through to me. And then he says, the big reminder for this, for me, is that on player aid card 3, it says Barrage, Radar, Mobile, and that's what I showed you earlier. Right there, Barrage, Radar, and Mobile. It's not saying that just one of them, it's got them all. 44-minute mark, correct. During DALs are not rocket pods, so taking the -2 on level bombing is correct. Yeah, I could only assume that. Okay, but nice to have it just confirmed completely. Okay, good stuff. And then, yeah, the 51-minute and 15-second mark. I didn't actually look at this, but he says the other reason that suppression was good. And I didn't need to look at it, because what he's meaning is... it's on play card 1, I think, that. As that when, and this is what, well, actually, I'll leave that, because he brings that up again. It's this. So if the AA concentration fires at us and he gets a hit, we check damage modifiers, -2 per AA suppression level. So I did realise, I seen that one, I was like, oh right, well there is a reason, there's a good reason for it as well. But you can see the other reason that John has eventually got through to me as totally relevant as well. Okay, and 53.5-minute mark. Yeah, I get, well, I've changed this now. It was Slam, yeah. It's when Slam, he took a damage result. It must have been from one of the AA fires. And I was going through the process, and then I said, right, it's aircraft 1 that takes the damage. And when I come to mark it off, I say, right, aircraft 4's damage. And I actually marked aircraft 4 off. John's just saying aircraft 1, then 20 seconds later, that becomes aircraft 4 damaged. A younger me would probably poke fun, but the goldfish memory is real for me too. So yeah, it just shows you when you're doing things. I had actually marked off 4, but I've since changed it to the right one now. So thanks for bringing that one up. I said, haha, oops. Okay, I've fixed this now. Right, okay. And then he talks about my comment about heroes. A Normandy. I was asked about the rules, but that's not really relevant to here. Okay, so one more set of 25 to come. Hang on. Okay, 25, part 25. He says he's going to get busier with his kids and stuff like that, so he might not be around much. I said, well, I'll probably have things slowed down a bit myself, to be honest. That's a weekend off coming to a close, and so back to work. But yeah, I'll still be here, no doubt. But I actually said also that I might, after this scenario's finished, I might, before I start getting right into the next scenario, which I will do, it's still going to be set up on this table, I might look at what we're trying to set up on the other table and maybe get it going as well. Okay, 5-minute mark, he says correct. Radar 88, also known as fire cans, would also be able to fire as many as you could shoot at a flight. Also, like mobile AA, they only fire once per turn. Yeah, that's when I realised that two 2K22s could fire at me. You don't just take one of them. And then I thought, that must mean that 2 fire cans could fire at you. And he's just confirming that, yeah, they could. 15-minute and 50-second mark. Okay, this is him trying to explain, because he said to me about that we dodged 3, we restricted the damage from 3 shots that that Slam was going to get, the bomber was going to get. And I couldn't quite work out what it was he's meaning, but I think, and this is what I've replied to, that he's meaning, it's not that. Or is it that? Yeah, that he's meaning this that I just pointed out, and that's what I was talking about, this -2 per AA suppression level. Because if that fired 3 times at me, which it did, it attempted, well, it fired 3 times. We must have got hit once, because I think that's where the damage result came from. Well, it must have been. That's where the damage result came from. But if you notice, every time this fired, if we were checking damage on each 3 of them, I'm not so sure we did, but we might have checked it twice, then this would have gave a -2. So I think that's what he was meaning there. And he says the light AA concentration got 3 shots at Slam, once in the hex where you started the bomb run, once in the hex during the actual attack, and then again as you climb to mid-jump. And I got all that, and I says, yeah, I get all this. I says, what I think you mean by it now, however, is that each one of those attacks, if resulted in damage, would receive a -2 modifier from the suppression. I'm pretty sure that's what he was meaning. I just wasn't really taking it in that way. And then he repeats, sorry, not repeats himself, because I still haven't got it by this point, so I'm not meaning that, John. He says, he talked about this in the previous video, but the light AA being suppressed kept you from having another -1 AA modifier from it. It's the worst from each category, not the worst from all AA. So, fair enough. Yeah, so I've got it now, thanks. And then he said, glad you figured out later that Saint cannot set dash throttle. Yeah, I think it took me a while before, and then I realised, oh no, I can't do dash because I'm crippled. Little things like that, easy to catch you. And then also, this was on my mind, by the way. I didn't make any comment on it, but I thought, wait now, we need to check for the suppression on that, and we didn't. He says, I think you must roll in for AA suppression recovery. So can I do that now? Just while it's in my head, I think I can. That's his last comment anyway. So let's have a quick look at that, and then we will go and rewind. Is it Silver Fox? I can't remember, because we done a whole BVR combat, didn't we? And we've got 2 friendly flights close by. In fact, I think even Cobra was, well, maybe not. Well, it must have been on Cisco. Yeah. So we had 2 friendly flights close by. I'm not sure if it was Silver Fox or not. I think Silver Fox went to attack him first and never got a result, and then, no, that couldn't have been right. That couldn't have been right, Grant, because we would never been able to do... Oh, no, was it not? I did Silver Fox with the BVR, we never got any result, and then I was going to do Saint with the same, and then realised, wait, now I can't because the rules of engagement, and then I thought, wait a minute, and then that's when the penny dropped, and I thought, oh dear, I made a mess of this. Right, so how do we roll for... And I don't think I've any comments in part 26, but whether there needs to be any there or not... Like I say, I only hope nobody starts watching it through and then not quite realising that it's not... I'm going to have to redo it, basically. But I've put a big warning in the header, so I always say you should glance at the notes in the header first. Yeah, so yes, indeed, in the sequence of play... Right in the middle, at somewhere nearer the end, I suppose. Roll for loss of AA suppression, and references the rule 18.21. So let's go and have a look at how we do that. 18.21. Okay, suppressed right, it's 18.21, page 36, but it's just the sort of last paragraph. Suppressed AA concentrations roll a die in each admin phase. On a roll of 8 or greater, reduce the suppression level by 1. If already at level 1, remove the suppression marker. So an 8 or greater is going to take that off. Okay, so the chances are low, I suppose. There we go, a 3. So, yes, 8 or greater, reduce the... Yeah, so it's not. It's going to stay on. Good stuff. Okay. Right, now I need to go and look... I need to go and look at this video footage now and find out what mess that I've made. Now, obviously, I can keep all the initial bits leading up to the flight move-in. Yeah, I want to say, yeah, it is Silver Fox, isn't it? And we drew a 2 initiative chat. So, and this was the first flight we moved, and this is a mistake that we made. And I was just starting to move Saint Flight, I think, and then realised my mistake. So I've stopped that movement. So I just need to look at what he's all done. But mainly fired missiles and everything. So I'm going to have to put it back. So I'll just pause this now and then hopefully I'll reset to where we're at and I can try and fix things, basically. Okay, so just watch back on the footage here. Just try to pick up all the things that happened. Actually, it's about the 14.5-minute mark that I start moving Silver Fox. And I don't realise until the 40 or something minute mark. This shouldn't have launched because we actually got a SAM launch and it missed us. Now I think we've done the check 3 times because of the way I was moving. I was staying at medium altitude. I can only assume there was a reason for that. Anyway, sorry, don't get sidetracked, Grant, because I'm trying to just keep up with what we've got. So it was Silver Fox. Now, I just checked. Now, you got 2 shot opportunities, but I've not checked. But he also then depleted his weapons, so that wouldn't have happened. His depletion of his infrared missiles. Like I say, the SAM launch wouldn't have happened. And it was, well, it's obviously Siskov. Well, I have to say that it must... Ooh, see, some of these are rubbing off. I'm going to have to watch moving these tables about because it looks like I've had purple in there, number 4, purple in number 2 and 3. Right, I'm going to go and look at the video, see what... One of them shouldn't be damaged anymore anyway. We got two shot opportunities and 1 damage result out of the 2 shot opportunities. Okay, so it was that, if you like, it's the 4th aircraft and the thing that I'd marked damage. That's the one that's kind of faded off there. So I'm just going to rub that completely out. So now they only have aircraft number 2 is damaged, and obviously this one's been shot down. So basically, this was aircraft number 3 that I was trying to damage, but that hasn't happened. Yeah, I will need to be careful with... The last thing you would want is rubbing that, because that was almost rubbed out completely there. That would have... I need to be a bit more careful. It's where to put everything, and you're moving things about on top of them sometimes. Okay, so I think that would... Oh no, morale. I want to see what happened to their morale. Okay, so nothing happened to Siskov's morale. He rolled high enough there to avoid that. One other thing, we take that BVR avoid marker off because he's not had that. And now finally, I'm going to go back to the 14.5-minute mark and find out where Slam started. Not Slam, sorry. Silver Fox, where he started. I'll take the cube off just now as well. And we'll get him back to where he started the mistaken BVR run. Okay, I think that's how it was. He was on the sort of spine of this hex, facing Saint. Yeah, there was a wee blue 3 dice on top of him, but I've took the dice away because that's only based on the bomber's way path anyway. So, and I think he's at medium altitude. Just having a glance across here, medium altitude. Yeah, that looks like it. Right. Okay, so that's everything reset. So it's our initiative, and we've got 2 initiatives, and well, you can see clearly that, which I shouldn't have noticed right away, that I could never be attempting BVR combat, even if I got round behind him. This is still within 1, so the BVR rules of engagement, it's impossible for me to attempt BVR on that guy at all. So what do we do? Do we... Oh, hang on. That wouldn't stop Saint from going round the back of him and into there, would it? Because this would be 2 hexes away and this would be 2 hexes away. Right, okay. Well, since I've realised all this, I don't suppose there's any harm in me changing my mind to move Saint instead of Silver Fox to start this with. Now, hang on. Saint, yeah, the reason I didn't move Saint is because he's got a crippled aircraft. Oh, and yeah, remember that one, Grant. He cannot dash. So, is he able to do all that? He would need to get right behind them. He'd need to be in range 1. Well, in that hex there would do. To be honest, he could probably do that, couldn't he? 4 movement. Is he getting 4? Well, he's at high. He's at a high altitude. Oh, and he's clean as well. Yeah, they don't have any, because they're fighters now. They're cat missions. They've no air ground ordnance. So he's actually got a movement speed at 5. So I mean, you can see 1. He's facing the side there. Huh? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Well, I've got that on the video. Yeah, that's right. So 1 free turn, 2, and then do what's 5? A 90-degree turn, isn't it? So that'd be 30, 60, 90. That wouldn't quite work. Well, you know what? If he just went at speed 4 rather than 5, we know he can't dash anyway. But if he went at speed 4, he's going to get the 120-degree turn, isn't he? Again, I'm still looking for this. Yeah, so he'd get 120 at speed 4, whereas 90 at speed 5. So that'd be 1 free turn, 2, and then do a 120-degree turn, 30, 60, 90, 120, and that's fine. And then adjacent to him, so my range is 1, which is what my BVR weapons want. And the rules of engagement would allow it, because I'm in his rear arc. It's got to be rear arc, remember, Grant, not rear beam. That is rear arc, I'm pretty sure. Again, as always, I'm struggling with that, so let us have a look. So he's facing that, yeah. So his rear arc comes halfway through that hex and halfway through that hex. So if we were sitting in there, pointing up that spine, yeah, that works. Because it's us that gets to decide all that, which side of the hex we're in, if you like. Okay, so, well, let's just do that then, and we could... yeah, I'm just wondering here if I could have... yeah, that kind of makes... Well, hang on though, we had a crippled aircraft. So that would have affected the roll, wouldn't it? I'm just saying, could I have just changed it about and done this and then just kept the dice rolls? But I couldn't have, could I? Because Silver Fox had 4 aircraft to roll on the table. You know, the, what do you call it, table? The manoeuvre table. We would have rolled for Silver Fox on this column, because he had 4 undamaged aircraft, but now we're having to roll on that. So it's not that I could have just sort of said, right, okay, I made a mistake, let's do that, but we'll keep all the same dice rolls. So I do have to actually renew this the way I'm doing this. So apologies, but what can you do, yeah? We all make blunders at times, don't we? Okay, so we're going to set his speed at 4, like I've said. Now he can go at 5. And the good thing with him is that he's at high. Why was I keeping Silver Fox at medium then? The thing is, Siskov is at medium. But I done 3 different checks on that SA13 firing at me, and if I'd climbed to high altitude, I wouldn't have. I mean, I would have triggered. The first one would have triggered and I would have checked, but the next 2 movements after that, I would have been at high altitude. So I'm a bit confused. I clearly didn't want the. And if I'm at BVR high, they don't have any look down restrictions anyway. So I'm going to get a negative modifier for being at a different altitude. But it's a -1. I think that's worth it rather than taking the chance of getting hit by that SAM. So I don't know. I'd need to look back and watch the footage and figure out why. I understand that when Silver Fox moves from medium to high, he's going to trigger the SAM there. But if he'd done that first and then just stayed at high after that, I think that sounds like a better idea. I don't know, maybe there was some method in my madness. Okay, so, well, he's Saint's at high, so that's a good thing. So for movement, I'm just going to move that. We're going to go 1 free turn, and then 2. We've got 2 movement points left. And yeah, I remember now the last movement point I used with Silver Fox was to climb back to high. Was to climb to high at the end. I still feel like we could have avoided the. Maybe I wasn't thinking about the fact about moving at medium and the SAM keep checking. Anyway, right, so I've got 2 movement points left. I'm going to do a 120-degree turn, so 30, 60, 90, 120. So that is in our front arc, and we are in his rear arc, which is where we need to be. I still have a movement point left, which... I don't want to move into the hex with side hand, do I? Right, hang on. Because I can't. I've just turned there. I don't want to drop my altitude either. I don't want to spend the point dropping altitude. I can't climb anymore. But I don't want to spend my last movement point moving into the hex, because then we won't be able to do air-to-air combat with Silver Fox if we wanted to. Because remember, it restricts you if there's a friend. If there's a. Oh no, that's just for the bot. That's just for the bot. No. Standard air-to-air engagement requirements. Defender detected and not stacked with friendly flight. So you cannot do that. So I don't want to end up in that hex. I'm going to have to rethink this slightly. Right, he was back in there. I'm sure I can do this. Right, let's... Well, if we had our speed at 5, so... No, I can't have a speed at 3. I can only drop it by 1, can't I? Yeah, I think I can still do it this way, so... We've got... I'm going to take 4 movement again, because I want the 120-degree turn. So... 1... 2... And 2 points left. Yeah. I think this works the same, it just drags it out. And then 120-degree turn here, 30, 60, 90, 120. And we've got 1 movement point left. And then into there, but I do need to turn, don't I? 3... Well, I could have just made it a 30-degree turn, but 60-degree turn. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so he staying at high altitude, and that used up all his movement points. Right, and then he's going to declare BVR engagement there, Well, we will double check the engagement requirements. Whereas that was the first time I think I says, right, I don't need to go through these because we've been through these before. We know what's what, and yeah, I clearly didn't know what was what. So there we go. Defender detected. Yes. Defender in range of attacker undepleted BVR weapon. Well, we've got a range of 1 attacking him from the rear. So yes. Infrared BVR weapon has line of sight. It might be an infrared missile, but there's no line of sight issues. And then BVR rules of engagement must allow the engagement. And there you go there. Because we're in the defender's rear arc, we wouldn't be able to shoot if there was a friendly flight within 1 hex. Well, both our friendly flights are within 2 hexes. So, and that is in his rear arc, innit? We can decide it's going to split the hex. Yeah, I'm good with that. So, and then, so that's good. And like I say, this is the one that I just skipped on by and never. That's stupid. Look down. Oh, yeah, we stayed at high. We're going to take that, aren't we? But there's no look down restrictions for an F-16. Attacker not defensive. We all attack as defender and forward arc. We do indeed. And then the rest don't apply. Okay. So, yeah, we have 1 crippled aircraft, remember, Grant. That's fine. We didn't dash. Right, okay. All good. Right, so let's check for engagement. We are only going to get 1 attempt at this, yeah. Yeah, but the fact I had to be adjacent anyway. Yeah, I suppose if I had the movement point left, I could drop to medium altitude, but then we take the risk of the SAM hitting us, so. This is a reasonable dice roll. Yeah, you're playing it up now, Grant. You're going to end up with a poor roll here. Okay, so aggression value of... they might not be as good, eh? This is Saint. Oh no, he's still good. He must have survived his morale check. So he's at a +2. And but target a different altitude band it is because we're at high. Yeah, okay. We're at high, so yeah, there's a -1 to that. So we've got a +1 on the roll, and we need a 9, of course. Right. Okay. So with a +1, needing a 9. Well, I did talk it up, didn't I? Ah, dear. Right, there you go then. So, no, it's not happening. So, BVR engagement. If unsuccessful, flight continues its movement. Well, that'll be that then. But it's tricky because having to be within range 1, and then I didn't want to take the chance of moving that hex. The only way I could have done it is kept that movement point back, dropped to medium altitude to have another engagement attempt. But when I done that, the SAM would try and fire at me, and we're adjacent to the SAM, by the way. In fact, it would fire because it's not long range. So there we are. Right, well that didn't do much at all after all that, but however, we fixed things, I hope. Well, let's just keep going. We've got one more, yeah, I might as well move this other flight and then we can... well, I suppose we want Silver Fox just to go for it, eh? Just to get in there and get some air combat, why not? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so... right, so he's at medium. Why did we... No, I've talked about this already. So hang on, standard air engagement requirement. Defender within 1 hex and same altitude or 1 altitude below. Okay, so that would work. We could be at high and engage them. Again, we're going to get some modifiers against us. One for the engagement, and then I think come the maneuver table. No, yeah, the maneuver modifiers. I'm guessing. Flight maneuver rate modifiers. Flight climb this movement. Oh no, we wouldn't be climbing. Yeah, we would be climbing. Yeah, we would. So we'd get a -1 to our maneuver rating modifier, and No, that's, yeah. Okay, well, it's not, you know what, it's not awful. And is it not better than taking the risk of this SAM? What is our bombing flight? What altitudes he's at medium as well, you see? The thing is, if the SAM launches, then it can only launch once a turn, so... but then the bomber's done its thing now, so... Well, let's see if we can get... Because we want to try and get the hemisphere... the geometry modifier. It needs to be rear or rear beam. So that's where we need to come in at him from. Silver Fox is at medium altitude, speed of 4, and he can dash. So we could get a speed of 6. I mean, if we go 4, he's got to climb an altitude band to start with. I mean, I as well doing that right away before we get close to him, because the SAM will then fire. So that'd be 1 movement point. However, I could do a free turn with that into there. And then 2, 3, and then 30, 60, 90, 120. That's fine. We'll be, no, we can't do that. You know, we can't, you know why we can't do that? Is because we can't have 2 friendly flights in the same hex at the same altitude. Yeah. Well, hang on, if we come in from here, that's his beam, but we get to decide, and we would just say it's his rear beam. And that's all we need, isn't it? Why are we trying to do this? You get that extra modifier, don't you? Rear or rear beam? And that would be, I mean, that's his beam, but it's split in half. So we decide that we're in its rear beam, because we're the attacker. Yeah. So right, so we climb to high with a free turn. That's 1 movement point. No, we don't. Well, we set our speed at 3 then. Set our speed at 3, climb to high, free turn. That's 1. Yeah, just move into the hex, I think. There's no real... I'd still not seen a benefit to actually enter in the hex. It kind of drags you in there anyway. So, but I suppose if it's going to... Well, hang on. Are you not... No, because you use up your movement points anyway when you go into air to air. So it doesn't make any difference. Okay. Let me set my speed at 4. For Silver Fox. First movement point, he's going to climb to high. And yeah, well, let's do this free turn as well then. So that's 1 movement point, down to 3. Right, and then what's going to happen there is the SAM is going to check for long range attack. Well, it's 2 X's away, right? I keep forgetting if it's odd or even or whatever one. So, yeah, this is the thing. This time it only checked this once, and then we're at high altitude and we're out of its altitude range. So, okay, odd it'll attack, even it won't. So, let's go and look at that. So, odd it will attack. Okay. So, it's going to attack. So, let's get that played. Oh, what is it? It's maybe 2. Maybe 3 though. No, it is 2. Right, so SAM attack. Well, at least our bomber will not get any grief from this, because he can immediately climb to high altitude and not have to take that check. So there is that. So SAM attack. Alright, we need the wee card, SA13. Again, we're going to ignore the first 2 modifiers on the table and just use the fact that we are at medium altitude and we're at long range. So there's a -3 there. And then he's an infrared SAM, so that's another -1, that's -4. Is he attacking from our forward hemisphere? He is. Yes, he is. So, -3, -4, -5. So, -5 to this roll. And we want, I think it was 11 or less. So, -5. Easy. So, 7, -5 is a 2. So, no effect. But that it did launch, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's just launched and missed, so there's no effect. But the good effect is that it's now marked with a SAM launch again. Okay, good stuff. Right, I've got 3 movement points left. Is that right? I climbed 1 and then free turned. Yeah, it to be honest doesn't matter how I do this, so I'm then going to move in there, free turn, and then we're just going to move in then. Because we're going to end up next anyway. Now that then means that we lose all our move. Well, hang on. So I spent 2 more. I've actually got a movement point left because the engagement might not happen, eh? Oops. That could have been nasty. Yeah, because if we fail to engage, I've got a movement point left. And remember, we're at high altitude, which is going to be slightly above him. Okay, so engagement. Right, well, I've got that table still back up there. And just double checking the requirements. Defender detected. Yeah, I noticed that with friendly flight. No, well, as now, but yeah, no. Okay, and that's what I was trying to avoid with Silver Fox. Defender when 1 hex and same altitude or 1 altitude below. He is 1 altitude below us, so good. If not in the same hex, attacker it's in the same hex. Attacker's undepleted weapon. Who this is? Yeah, that's Silver Fox. Yeah. So yeah, he's got his infrared missile. He's got his guns. Might be probably using his guns. Yeah. Attacker not sword or abort either to SAM avoid. No. No. All AA or SAM attacks in current hex resolved. Yeah, that was only we got that SAM launch. We missed. Yeah, there's nothing else to deal with there. So engagement. And just looking at what we do here. So attacker announces multiple. Yeah, we're not doing any of that nonsense. So both attack and defender roll for engagement. So what I'm going to do is again do it. I'll do this step. No, we both need to do this step. That's right, because we might not engage. So let's go through that one first. Okay, so no, what are we wanting? Yeah, I'm jumping a step here. I'm looking at maneuver here we're rolling for engagement first, sorry. So this is us. We're both detected and it's day. So the base numbers are 10. Silver Fox's aggression value is a +2. Target in different altitude band it is. So we're gonna get. Oh, he's going to get this -1 for that too, isn't he? Yeah, I remember that now. Okay, so we get a -1 for that. That's 1. What is disorder? No. Target in rear hemisphere. No, it's not in our rear hemisphere, but we're going to be in his rear hemisphere. That's right. So we've got a +1. Is that right? Yeah. We've got a +1 and we need a 10. So hopefully the dice heat up a little bit. +1. Oof. When I seen the 4 there, I was a bit worried. Right, 14 +1 is 15. So good. Okay. So we've got a yes. Right, for him, He's got, this is Mig 29, Siskov, he's got a +1 for his aggression. Now he's going to take a -1, that's down to 0 for the different altitude. He's also going to take a -1 because we are in his rear hemisphere. Yeah. No, this is, I asked John about this. That's right, isn't it? Because although we're in the hex, and remember, we would have been directly in his beam. Oh, hang on though, Grant. Hang on here. Can he not decide that we are not, if this is the other way about here? I'm not sure. Because if it's him making this decision, can he not say that we're in his front hemisphere because we're splitting the hex? Well, then you would say, well, how can you get it with the geometry? I'm not sure about that. Right, you know what? I'm just going to leave that, and hopefully the dice roll doesn't matter. So +1 for aggression, -1 for different altitude. I'm not going to give him the -1 here. And hopefully the dice roll doesn't matter, but let me know, John. Because I moved straight into the hex from his beam. But obviously my intention was to come in from the rear beam because I'm splitting the hex in two so that I get that geometry modifier. Maybe I don't get that modifier then by doing it that way. Okay, +1, -1, wasn't it? Right, so no modifier and he needs a 10. And if he happens to get something close to that, we'll worry about it later. Well, he's only got a 6, so even if he was getting a -1, an extra -1, it would be a 5. He's only getting a 6, so he's not. This is a no, so this is going to be good for us. So the results are going to be yes for attacker, no for defender. So we're getting surprised this time. He's getting disadvantage. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to do, for myself first, I'm going to do maneuver, shot resolution, depletion, and damage allocation. And then I'll come and do his steps for that before we move on to morale. Right, so maneuver. Now, yeah, this is going to apply here. This is a maneuver rating modifier, so it's going to alter our maneuver rating. So flight, climb, this movement phase, yes. So we get a -1 towards a maneuver rating. The other ones don't apply. So our maneuver differential, you see the two flights there. Remember, we're getting a -1 though. We're at high altitude, so we get a +9. He's at medium altitude, so he gets a +7. However, we're getting a -1 to that, so that's actually a +8 to a +7. So we're getting a +1, and he's going to be getting a -1 on that. Yeah, we're getting a +1. Hopefully I remember he's getting a -1. And aggression differential, I think that's going to be a +1 for us as well, isn't it? No, it's not Saint, Silver Fox. +2 and he's +1. Yeah, so again we got a +1, he's going to get a -1. So that's 2. Right, geometry. Well, there it's there. If the attacker is in the defender's rear or rear beam arcs, the geometry modifiers are. I think we can get that, but see when it goes to check him for geometry, can he not say that because we were in between the hex, can he not say that that it's sorry, it's that one. Can he not say that we're in his forward beam when he goes to check, so that he'll get? I don't think you can do that. I think maybe because I'm the attacker, I get all the choices here. Maybe. I feel here that we definitely get this +1, so I'm taking that. Yeah, I don't want to blunder with this, so hopefully the die rolls are not close, and John can just maybe clarify that I'm getting this right. Okay, so that was geometry. Enemy flight disordered, he's not. Flight has surprise, we do indeed. So we're getting a +3 for that. That's a +6 we're sitting at. Flight is disadvantaged. No, enemy flight is disengaging. Combat, yeah, he'll get the disadvantaged one. So a +6 for us. Now, let's get this one right this time. Silver Fox has 4 undamaged aircraft. So he's good to go. I can take that movement point dice away, can't I? Because we are engaged now. So a +6 on the 4 column here. Looking at this as being the dice rolls. So this could be nice. With a +6. Here we go. Oh, and it's horrible. Come on. 6 and 6 is 12. I mean, just as well, it's a +6. So 12. You know, just scraping a 2, aren't we? Well, okay. We'll just have to take that then. We did have 4 aircraft. That's right. None of them are damaged or anything. No. Silver Fox is good. So we've got a 2 result. So we've got 2 shot opportunities. So we're coming down here. We are going to use our gun, I want to say. Because it's got a +3 with a 3 depletion level. And then infrared missiles +3 with a 6 depletion level. But we do still have both. So we'll get the extra +1. So +3 for the combat value. +1 for the extra weapon. We're getting a +4 on this. And we've got 2 shot opportunities. So there we go. Yeah, I was looking at this. Can you not have the die roll and show the table, Grant? Seems a bit... Well, it means I'm stretching things out a bit more. Yeah, it's not... You know what? I'll just keep doing it my way, right? You kind of know the numbers you're looking for anyway, don't you? 16 to 19. That's what I'm looking for. Right, with a +4. Here we go. First shot. That's good. 12 +4. You know what that is? 16. Oof. 1 aircraft shot down. Okay. That's excellent then. Yeah, I think we go for the other shot, don't we? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to take this other shot. Because it is with our guns, the depletion's only a +3, so... Or a 3, sorry. Right, so with a +4 again. Second shot. Oh, look at that. Oh no, that's not what I want. 8. 12. Ah, no. I must have I was getting carried away. That was 12 I rolled before. I'm thinking 12 again. So that was... it's no effect. 8 +4 is 12. Yeah, no effect. Damn. Okay. So we got a 1 aircraft shot down result. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to the damage allocation, but we know we need to check for depletion first. So our depletion level, like I said, was a 3. We fired 2 shots, so we got a -1 to this. Oh, no, that's horrible. That's horrible, because that means we're losing our... That's him game over, isn't it? Well, we shot one of the aircraft down, right? 1 - 1 is 0, so if we get a 1 or less, I think we've got to deplete another weapon as well. I'm going to have to just quickly look this up. Yeah, it says if the modified result is 1 or less, a second weapon, if the flight has one, is also depleted. The only player may choose any other non-depleted air-to-air weapon carried by the flight to deplete. It's just, but then the last paragraph, for BVR combat, only the BVR weapon used can deplete. No other weapons deplete, even if the depletion roll is 1 or less. So sadly, that Silver Fox had his day. He has depleted his guns, and because he rolled poorly there, also has to deplete his infrared missiles. So he's got nothing left now. And I don't know if that changes his status. Does that mean he's got to abort maybe or something? It says depletion of air-to-air ammunition, which include guns. Yeah, so he's going to go to abort status anyway. Well, we've not rolled on his morale yet either, so... Right, just before finishing there though, we do need to check which flight is getting shot down. We got one shot down result, didn't we? So Siskov he's got three aircraft left. One of them's damaged. Number 2's damaged. So he's got 1, 2, and 3. So he's rolling on the 3 column here. And he's got 1 damage. So let's say we might shoot down that one. So let's roll on the 3 column. Roll the 6. And a 6 on the 3 column is 3. Yeah, so aircraft 3. Well, that is going to work for us. That's good. Because aircraft 3, like I say, you move them down the steps. That's aircraft 1. That's aircraft 2. That's aircraft 3 because original aircraft 3 was shot down. So I'm going to mark number 4 off as being shot down. So now he has only 1 good flight, good aircraft. But remember, although I've marked that off, that doesn't count for he's now going to have his say in this combat, and that flight's still alive and kicking. Okay, so right back to him before we check morale. So manoeuvre for him. He's not getting any modifiers. And now the differential we said was 2, was it? No. Yeah, we got 1 knocked off. It was 8 against 7. No, it was 1. We were +8, he's +7. It's 1. Right, so that's a -1 for him. And then aggression differential is going to be another -1. So that's -2. Geometry. Right, I'm going to put this in as a -3 and hopefully the die roll doesn't matter. But again, John, if you could confirm that. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm asking. So -3, enemy flight disordered, no. Flight is surprised, no. Flight is disadvantaged, yes. So that's a -4. And disengaging. Oh. When does the bot consider that? Oh, don't tell me. Disengaging. Bot flight attempts to disengage if disordered or aborted. Well, he's not. So he'd only do that if disordered or aborted. Okay. So I think that's only... Right, so we've got -4. Now, his number of aircraft he's got, remember we don't discount that one that I've marked off already, but he doesn't get the damaged aircraft, so he's got a 2. He's got 2 aircraft. So he's rolling on the 2 column with a -4 to this. Is that right? Yes. On the 2 column with a -4. And that's not good. So 8 -4 is 4. I guess it's a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, no shot opportunities for him. That was a bit of a breeze, wasn't it? Okay, so... Well, we don't need checking the rest. Yeah, okay. Well, he doesn't get to firing any shots, obviously. We do still need to move into morale. So this is for both of us as well. And we're on air-to-air combat. So we'll do our flight first. Our aggression value is who's this again? Silverfoot. +2. We had surprise, we did. Another +1, that's +3. We shot down an enemy aircraft, another +1, that's 4. So we're getting a +4 to this. So just keep it high, Grant, and everything will be alright. +4. That should be fine. 15 +4 is 19. So greater than or equal to 17 is nothing. Just a jettison check, which we don't need to do. So all good for us. Right, checking his morale, his aggression value is +1. So it's a 1 for there, but he was disadvantaged, so that's down to a 0. And he lost an aircraft, so he's at a -1. -1 on this roll. For Siskov, -1. 11 -1 is 10. So that might be a bit of trouble. 90-14. He's getting -1 to his aggression and he's disordered. Yes. Perfect. Well, that could be the end of the scenario, really. So he gets a minus, no, it's a green. -1 is aggression value. That takes him down to 0. And what did I say? He's disordered. Right, what colour are they? They're green, aren't they? Disordered. There's one. Right, so we need the disordered. We need a couple of manoeuvre markers as well. Are they ready? Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's going to take care of things because I don't think he's going to be able to recover for that in time to do anything for the rest of the scenario. Right, scatter. We do need to scatter. So let me just quickly, because time's moving on here now. So looking at Silver Fox, he's looking at the first scatter diagram. So here we roll 1 dice, and odd it'll descend. We don't want that. We don't want an odd roll. Yeah, damn, we get one. We get one, yeah. Right, so 1 is down to the left and a descent. Well, the good thing was the Sam launched, didn't it? So down to the left is down into here, so he's going to turn into there. What I'm also going to do while I'm moving his counter is flip him that way because he's going to become undetected. And he is going to descend to medium altitude, which will make him susceptible to the SAM. However, it's not going to trigger right now because SAM's already launched. And there's nothing else. Yeah, we need to get down to low to get the inherent stuff. So that's fine. Right, let's see what's happening to Siskov then. So he is looking at he's at the other diagram. So again, odd he'll descend. 3, so he's going to descend as well. And he's going up to the left. So that's in the same hex, isn't it? Well, that's fine, I think. So Siskov and Silver Fox in there. I'm going to just kind of show them both so I don't forget. He's got his altitude marker on his card. I've turned him over as well, undetected. Right, okay. And no, he was at medium. So he's dropping to low. Right. Not that it kind of doesn't matter for them. They don't really get hit. I'm wondering, I've been thinking about it for a while now. Is there some scenarios that we get some SAMs? I don't know. I kind of like to think that there might be, but maybe not. Maybe that's too complicated to do. I don't know. I've not really looked ahead or anything like that. I mean, you can play this as a solo game, so you must be able to do it somehow. So, yeah. We've just not seen any of that yet, but maybe that's to come. Okay, so that was scatter. What is next after scatter? We dropped our altitude. We became undetected. That's jumping the gun a little bit. Well, place manoeuvre markers. Mark disordered abort status. Remove any acquisition. BVR avoid. SAM avoid. And read attack or zoom climb. Flip counters to undetected side. Then we do bayonet and fuel. Okay, so for Silver Fox, he's getting a manoeuvre marker. So I'm going to put that there. He's at medium altitude. For Siskov, we're going to use his card because he's not in. So he's got a manoeuvre marker and he's disordered. He dropped to low altitude. Right, that was all the markers, wasn't it? Yeah. Roll for bailouts and then mark fuel then, yeah? Right, because we spend a fuel point. But he did get a flight shot down, an aircraft shot down. So again, I'm not going to bother. It's going to land on his side of the front. That is on one of the charts, this, isn't it? on 3. So a 1 to 4. That would, well, I'll show you this. That's there. So this is to see if these bailout roll. So a 1 to 4 would be killed in action. 5 to 9, we just place a parachute. 10, I don't think that one's going to matter either because it's his choice. Right, well, that's a 10 actually. So, yeah, what it means is rolling on a die, owning player moves the parachute counter, number of hexes equal to the result. Right, I'm not going to roll this die because he's across his side of the front. If you weren't across your side of the front, you rolled that, there's a chance you might be able to move him so many hexes to get him across the side of the front. So, well, you know what? It says roll a die. Roll a die, Grant. 6. Right, so we move him 6 hexes. In whatever direction we want, I believe. After I'd done this the first time, I kind of thought that it should be the direction of the flight was pointing, you know, so it would be 6 hexes that way, which would be bad for him. But I don't believe that's the case. No, nothing was mentioned about it when I'd done it. I did speak about it before. So let's just say the parachute's away. They are 6 hexes away. So on his side of the front, you know what? I'm not even going to leave it there because he's bailed out safely. He's rescued come the time. I know it takes time for him to land, but there's nothing we can do to him anyway. So, all good. And, okay, marking off a couple of fuel points. I don't need to show you that on camera. I'm trying to just get this part finished. Silver Fox. Ooh, he's only got 1 more fuel point. But you know what? He's aborting now. He's got no weapons left, so nothing. However, he's done a good job because Cisco's only got 1 fuel point left as well now. He's got only 1 undamaged aircraft left and a damaged aircraft. However, he is disordered, so it's unlikely because he can't recover from disorder this turn. We're on turn 8. Technically, I suppose. Well, hang on. What's his aggression value? 0? Yeah, well, technically, he can roll a 20, Grant. So, and he's not moved yet, actually. So he can maybe reach. Yeah, this orbit point's not that far away. So maybe. Okay, so how am I going to do that then? Right, I need to mark that flight finished. Well, I'll just leave it there. Hopefully I'll know what I'm doing. That was our 2 initiatives used. I was back in the cup. It's going to be NATO next turn, but I'm going to have to stop now. That's the wrong thing. Where's the... Oh, on. So it's going to be NATO to go next turn. Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty good. That looks like we are closing in on the end, I think. We might need to still sort of... Yeah, we might need to go through the motions. But I should be able to do this quickly. As long as I get my guys to altitude. I mean, Silver Fox had to drop to medium altitude with the scatter there, but everything else is at high enough altitude to just head west, try and get across the front again. Everything's been done, and we just need to see what the result there is. But another aircraft shot down, so that's all points for us. So good. Just looking at their tally, we've had none shot down. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4 aircraft shot down. 1 crippled and 1 damaged, and we've got 2 crippled and 1 damaged. None shot down. Okay, right, I'll get away for now, guys. Hopefully that was a fix, and you know what, we ended up with some gameplay in the end there as well. I know it was 30 minutes of me blethering at first as well, and then fixing things and whatever. Okay, might get back tonight, you never know. Okay, cheers.